Thanks, April. Right now we're at 2 minutes after 6. Later this morning, 2 city council committees will be meeting to look for answers behind last week's Entergy blackouts. Some of you may have lost power for a short time during the freezing weather. Council members say residents had little time to prepare with such short notice given by the utility company, and the outage even affected the Sewage and Water Board. They said that was a big mistake. Asha Staples is joining us with more on the council's concerns. Asha?
Good morning. A lot of those questions that Entergy is going to face around the communication, the preparation, as well as the execution when it comes to weather emergencies. So hopefully they'll get some answers later this morning during that joint meeting. But the last week's frigid temperatures definitely had a lot of things going on, as you just mentioned, Eric, and more power was one thing needed to keep homes and businesses heated. Some questions coming from residents are about how Entergy New Orleans chose certain neighborhoods to be part of rolling blackouts, and also that overall communication. There was no notice sent to media or the public about the blackouts until hours after the event. This left many hanging, feeling frustrated for hours with no explanation. Entergy's VP of Distribution, John Hawkins, admits there was a delay in customer notification.
We certainly apologize for the inconvenience caused by these outages, but I think we understand this is a very unusual situation. And you know, with the colder temps this far south for an extended duration in time.
Yeah, so we know that this far south we're not used to those frigid temperatures, so hopefully, again, those answers will be given later on today at that meeting. It will happen at 10 a.m. It will happen virtually also, and you can watch it on council.nola.gov. For now, live outside of City Hall, Asha Staples, Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Asha. Council President Helena Moreno has launched a council inquiry into the level of weatherization in Entergy power production infrastructure. She says this is to protect ratepayers from winter weather disruptions like increased bills, similar to what happened in Texas after last week's huge winter storm. This will also be discussed during today's meeting.